How about the Seattle Seahawks? Yet another close game, but they pull it off.
Wet weather that kept central Washington cool today is headed our way.
As the White House moves forward in banning flavored vaping products, a local vape shop owner is speaking out tonight, and his response might not be what you expect. Good evening. Thanks for staying up late with us. I'm Tim Pham. Well, hopefully you had the chance to soak up the sunshine and warm temperatures we saw today, because meteorologist Michelle Boss says cooler and wet weather is on the way. Michelle, just how much rain can we expect to see this week?
We're not going to see a whole lot of rain in the short term. We are going to see some wet weather coming in tomorrow, but it should be pretty low amounts here in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, generally less than 1/10 of an inch and probably even closer to just a few hundredths. Right now on satellite and radar, we're seeing rain showers in pretty much the same location we've seen them all day. It's been nearly a stationary or very slow moving frontal system that's brought some rain showers from Omak down through Wenatchee, a little bit in Moses Lake and down towards the Tri-Cities. But here in Spokane, we saw sunshine earlier in the day, and then the clouds kind of thickened up, and we're going to continue to see cloudy skies during the overnight hours. Right now, we're still seeing those persistent rain showers. Looks like just to the east of Ellensburg. Again, Moses Lake not getting a whole lot. It's just been that area, one area of rain there has been kind of holding steady. So over the last 24 hours, Omak has seen some of the higher amounts, about 1/4 of an inch, and then less than 1/10 of an inch for Wenatchee, Ellensburg, just a few sprinkles in Moses Lake, and about 14 hundredths in Winthrop. Here's a look at the next 12 hours here locally in Spokane. We'll see mostly cloudy skies throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures dropping into the upper 40s and lower 50s. Computer models are slowing down the rain, so it looks like it'll probably be mid to late morning before we see that wet weather move into the area, but it is certainly going to keep temperatures down tomorrow. High temperatures only around 60 degrees. We'll get a brief break on Tuesday and then rain moving again on Tuesday night into Wednesday. Could see some more substantial rainfall as highs on those 2 days also in the lower 60s.
Michelle, thank you. Well, we have an update to a developing story we first brought you on KREM 2. The Fat Panda marijuana grow operation in Spokane Valley will remain open after a fire broke out Saturday evening. We are told by the Spokane Valley Fire Department that a smoldering fire self-extinguished in a second-floor grow room. The fire never got big enough to set off the building's sprinkler system. 80 employees were evacuated as a precaution. There is no estimated cost of damages, and the fire is under investigation. Well, to a health alert now, the CDC reports 380 confirmed and probable cases of lung disease associated with e-cigarettes in 36 states, and 6 people died from the illness. You've probably heard a lot of numbers reported this week, and we now know why. Turns out previous estimates showed 450 cases because the CDC included cases they were still investigating. Here locally, doctors are investigating 3 possible cases in Washington, while health officials in Idaho confirmed 2 cases. The Trump administration says it is moving forward to ban the sale of flavored e-cigarette liquids. Today, New York's governor said the state plans to do the same.
We would ban all flavors besides tobacco and menthol. Second, we're going to propose legislation next year that will ban advertising directed towards young people.
So New York Governor Andrew Cuomo directed the state police and the Department of Health to immediately work together to go after retailers who sell flavored e-cigarettes to minors. Well, a ban on flavored vaping products could really impact local businesses that sell those liquids. And tonight, a local vape shop owner is speaking out about what this could mean for their business. As KREM 2's Brandon Jones tells us, a Coeur d'Alene business sees both sides of the issue.
James Barbour has owned Vapor Cafe in Coeur d'Alene for 10 years now. He says that he's been getting health-related questions since the first day he opened up shop.
And we would go, oh, geez, we just got started. It's going to be over with as soon as we start.
In recent weeks, those questions have been magnified across the nation after the Center for Disease Control said people should consider not using e-cigarettes while it investigates vaping-related lung diseases. Initial reports had the CDC looking into 450 health-related cases through 36 states, and the number has now gone down to 380, but they're still looking into 6 deaths possibly linked to vaping.
They have their jobs to do. Let them do them.
In the CDC's report, they acknowledge that they don't know the specific cause for the recent string of these illnesses and mention that people should never buy any vaping products off the street. James is confident these kind of reports won't harm his business and is willing to roll with the punches. He said he's seen benefits from customers that switch from tobacco cigarettes to vaping.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried, and I don't think it's a harmful product, and I think that whatever the regulatory bodies decide on any level, state or federal, they'll probably make the correct decision for the safety of the public, you know.
Like many shops across the country, James will continue his regular day-to-day activities. In Coeur d'Alene, I'm Brandon Jones, KREM 2 News.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee says he wants more oversight of private psychiatric hospitals around the state. He wrote about it in a letter to the state's health department secretary. Inslee released the letter shortly after the Seattle Times published an investigation. It revealed 350 incidents where patients or staff were assaulted, suffered injury, attempted suicide, escaped, or died suddenly. The majority of them went unreported. Inslee is calling for the health department to strengthen oversight and make its findings more accessible to the public.
This is not a decision to move forward, but it is at least a way to look at some potential alternatives to replace some of those very, very aging buildings.
Well, right now, laws only require hospitals to disclose specific types of serious harm to the Department of Health. They also face no penalties if they fail to do so. A former Idaho gubernatorial candidate is at the center of a 35-year-old cold case out of Colorado. He ran for governor twice, in 2014 and just last year. Now Greeley, Colorado police are investigating Steve Pankey's possible connection to the death of a 12-year-old Janelle Matthews. The little girl's remains were found earlier this summer in northern Colorado. Pankey lived in Greeley, Colorado at the time Janelle went missing. Joey Prechtel from our sister station in Boise sat down with Pankey this week, and he addressed the ongoing investigation.
One of the first things that Pankey told me today was that he was shocked that he was even being investigated as part of this, because he said that he didn't even know about the disappearance of Matthews until nearly a week after the fact when he saw it on the news. It's important to point out though that Pankey at this time has not been charged with anything related to this crime. Nevertheless, police from Greeley, Colorado were here in Twin Falls last week searching his condo. They took several electronic items, including his phones, a tablet, a laptop, as well as several pieces of paperwork. Now, Janelle Matthews disappeared on December 20th of 1984. Pankey says that same night he was at home with his then wife, as well as his 5-year-old son. They were getting ready to leave on a Christmas vacation to California to visit his parents. Pankey says they got back to Colorado on the 26th, and that's when he heard about Matthews missing. Now, at that time, he says he didn't know anything about it, but after a conversation with his father-in-law, who worked at a cemetery where someone had actually asked on how to get rid of a body, he reached out to an agent with the FBI to tell them what he was told. Then in April this year, Pankey said detectives called his family asking about him. From then on, Pankey started following the case, and he read online in July when Matthews' body was found. What was your reaction when you saw that they had found her body?
Oh, I felt great. I thought I was happy for the Matthews family. They at least, because there was a lot of initial talk. There was a lot of initial talk in the beginning about like possible, what do you call it, trafficking or something like that.
Matthews' body was found when a crew in Weld County, Colorado, that's where Greeley is, was actually excavating at an oil and gas site. Greeley police said they recovered Matthews' skull as well as some of the clothes she was wearing the night she disappeared. Greeley police said Pankey made several attempts to actually talk to detectives regarding this case, so they came out here to ask him a few questions in person, but at that time, Pankey refused to actually talk to them. Since that incident, though, last month, Pankey has willingly given up his DNA. He's also agreed to take a voice stress test as well as a polygraph test, and he remains a person of interest at this time. In Twin Falls, Joey Prechtel, Idaho's News, Channel 7.
Well, still ahead tonight, Democratic presidential candidates are calling for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's impeachment. This comes after new accounts published by the New York Times that support accusations against him.